Hello, my name is William Anthony Hollis II, and the title of this presentation is Organizational Change Management Plan. This plan was created as part of the coursework for EME 6716, Organizational Management Learning Technology, and it was created specifically for the Lake Worth Community High School Media Center. This was created to address the problem of low database ROI. In other words, the school has many unused database subscriptions, and therefore it has been a waste of money, and students are not gaining the research skills that they could otherwise be gaining because we're essentially sitting on a gold mine. There are many resources available that could make life easier for all stakeholders involved. However, they're not being utilized. The proposed solution to this issue is a self-paced module via Canvas, which would enable students to practice their research skills, and this would also offload some of that labor that teachers often find themselves tasked with or saddled with as far as having to reteach these concepts that would then be automated and self-paced for the students. Now, there are tremendous risks for inaction in this situation. We want to demonstrate that maintaining the status quo would be unacceptable because the unused database subscriptions represent wasted taxpayer funds. I strongly believe that public institutions have a duty, an ethical, moral, and legal duty to fully utilize funds that they are blessed to be able to utilize. So that would be a tremendous risk of inaction, in addition to the equity gap to where graduates are unprepared for embracing post-secondary options. And also this ultimately hurts the reputation of Lake Worth Community High School if it is not producing graduates who are fully equipped to take advantage of the local opportunities within the economy and the global economy as a whole. Conversely, the potential gains would be a 90% increase in utilization of resources. Any administrator will tell you that they want to make sure that the budget is being optimized, so that would be a potential gain. Also, an increase in the readiness of students to pursue post-secondary opportunities, whether it would be college, whether or not it would be certificates. They would just be better prepared to research opportunities, whatever those opportunities might be. And last but not least, this would improve the efficiency of faculty and staff in that they would not have to issue that remedial instruction. It would be able to offload some of that labor or some of that lesson planning and other types of activities. In order to achieve this mission, we have put together a guiding coalition that includes the principal, who would be able to allocate resources in a formal capacity. We have the tech director, the curriculum director who works in educational technology, who would be able to provide systems expertise. We have the department head who provides credibility and serves as a subject matter expert. And then we have the media specialist who would oversee the overall implementation. Now, I'm not going to read this entire change vision to you, so I'll essentially summarize it by saying that the vision for the Lake Worth Community High School Media Center is to empower students. We want our students to be well equipped to conduct credible research, not just clickbait, not just being easily swayed by popular sources. We want them to be able to take ownership, to engage in self-efficacy so that they can genuinely take an active role in creating the life that they want for themselves. And from a practical standpoint, we also want to ensure that students utilize the resources that are available to them that are already there. We want to make sure that they are utilizing every tool that is at their disposal because it benefits everyone. Now, of course, it is of the utmost importance that we properly convey this vision. It's one thing to see it in print. However, we want to make sure that we are reaching as many stakeholders as possible through multiple channels. So we are creating a video. We will certainly play a video and display it on multiple platforms, whether it's the LMS itself, whether it's distributed through staff email, through school social media, through the school website. We also want to ensure that we give people an opportunity to voice their concerns. Being an educator myself, I know that a lot of times new initiatives come across as if it's yet another task, just more work for me to do for no additional reward. So we want to make sure to have open office hours, and also the media specialist would be there to answer questions and address concerns publicly during a 30-minute to 1 hour open session within the faculty meeting, a monthly faculty meeting. And last but not least, it is important to walk the talk. So the members of the guiding coalition will be sure to implement the module themselves so that they can demonstrate that it works. They can demonstrate that it is effective, and it is important, obviously, to be the change we would like to see, to quote Mahatma Gandhi. So that is the way that we will communicate the vision. Now, of course, in a perfect world, there would be no barriers and everything would progress seamlessly. However, we know that we do not live in a vacuum. Anytime we are instituting change, we are dealing with human beings. We understand that it's a dynamic situation. Therefore, we are addressing the barriers of a lack of skills. Some instructors or some faculty will vary in their level of technology, in their level of proficiency with new technology. Some are more welcoming than others. There actually is something called a technology adoption curve, where some people are innovators, some are laggards, some are the late majority, early majority, some are early adopters. So we're going to need to account for that. And also there's the barrier of time and structure. We understand that educators as a whole often have tremendous workloads that do not allow a lot of flexibility. Therefore, we will address those concerns by seeking out feedback to see what incentives would teachers be most responsive to. So we will definitely do that. We will have stipends. We will be sure to solicit that feedback. And then also being sure that as a guiding coalition that we reallocate resources so that departments can have common planning periods, and to ensure that the LMS is functional so that things can be simplified, so that modules are auto-assigned and auto-graded. So in conclusion, we have discussed how the implementation of this change plan will lead to an increased ROI as far as subscription databases. It will also close the gap as far as digital equity. It will also ensure that students are better prepared, not only in terms of research, but even in reading comprehension, that they are better equipped to go out into the local and global economy to compete for the opportunities of tomorrow. And now we are going to transition into our discussion question, which is, given the challenge of teacher burnout, which aspect of this plan do you predict would meet the most resistance and why? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Once again, my name is William Anthony Hollis II. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for your time. Be well.